friends, welcome to another episode of Seeing Sentai. I'm Mars Girl. Today we're taking a look at a brand new Sentai series, at least as far as this channel is concerned, looking at Taiyou Sentai Sun Vulcan, episodes 1 through 7. So far, I am really into this series. The series is kind of way over the top. The action has been brought up, and the editing has been cut, so everything just flows so much faster. It's, oh my god, the attention is just gonna grab your attention like that. The opening sequence, really so far, all of the musical sequences that have vocals in it, the opening, the closing, some of the image songs, are all done by famous anison or anime song vocalist Akira Kushida, so that is really freaking cool. I really love that guy. The suits look cleaner, the action has really ramped up the comedy in some ways, and it's serious, but it takes itself way too seriously for all of the heroic comical sort of things that they do, and that sort of visual dissonance is what is so funny and so entertaining to me, and that's why I'm really enjoying kind of blowing through this series so far. The first episode starts with the appearance of a brand new evil organization known as Black Magma. They're sort of a mechanical kind of organization that employs a lot of robots and a lot of androids. They're under the leadership of Führer Hell Saturn, who's a dude in a mask, and he's got something that looks like a microphone for a mouth. It kind of looks like a Star Wars droid in the face in some ways, but has big old claws on his hands. Otherwise, he employs mostly female generals. One of them becomes a reoccurring character, Dark Q, over and over and over again. Dark Q gets destroyed several times throughout the course of these first few episodes, and will probably continue to happen, and then they'll just make another Dark Q, who's designed to be a spy. He or she has her face masked to look like somebody else, either a real person or a made-up person, and then does espionage in that way. But they first appear at the North Pole, and they start firing upon people. They start firing upon nuclear submarines, and then airplanes, and they start causing not only damage to Japan, but like worldwide damage, and we don't really know why they're doing it yet. There's no real reason other than maybe this is a machine uprising. I'm not entirely sure, but they're a threat. They're obviously a global threat, so we've not yet gotten to a point in Super Sentai history where I necessarily feel like I understand why the villains want to do what they want to do. They're just bad for the sake of being bad, and that's all there is to it. But because there is this evil threat, the UN has decided, we gotta do something about this, and thus they create the Taiyou Sentai Sun Vulcan, or Solar Squadron Sun Vulcan. So obviously, as it's depicted in the title, twice, they're kind of solar themed, sort of. Each of the three members, and there's only 3 of them, mind you, are based on animals, so I'm not too sure how sun and animals go together. I mean, I guess living creatures need the sun, so okay, I'll work with that. There's the guy who becomes Vol Eagle, who flies apparently in the American Air Force, a fantastic pilot who becomes Vol Eagle. There's Vol Shark, who's in the Navy, Vol Jaguar. I'm not too sure what he does, but he eats a lot. Of course, there's another Yellow who eats like a pig, and they've all been gathered together to come to a restaurant under the name of Snack Safari. Much like in Go Ranger, they all gathered at this place called Snack Gon. So this loops back to very early on, just a few seasons back, the exact same thing. It's just a storefront that's actually the secret base of operations for this Sentai team. And of course, the guy working behind the counter making the food also happens to be their commander. So they go underground, and it's underneath actually a wildlife safari park, so that ties it even more into this animal theme. So I'm wondering where the sun stuff kind of comes in. At least that was my logic in the first episode. So the commander tells them, alright, this is why you're here, you've got to defeat these guys called Black Magma, we don't know why they're doing what they're doing, but here you go, here's your suits. Their suits are good and cool and clean, I really like their design, they transform using a bracelet. I like their bracelet, or I'm pretty sure it's just called brace, and then they're given their mech. They've got one mech that launches another set of mechs for them to pilot out of, and Vol Eagle gets his own mech that flies, whereas Vol Shark and Vol Panther both get their own separate mech that rolls out, and it's like obviously just a pair of legs rolling out, but it fires weapons. Both of them fire weapons. But this marks the very first time that we've seen a combining mech, or Zord for those of you who are Power Rangers fans. They combine the two parts, the head and the butt, and you get one combining robot to get Sun Vulcan Robo, who of course saves the day all the time, always uses the finishing move, Aurora Plasma Dual Slash, a very cool looking move, but before they get to that point, they also, as usual, have to fight a monster on the ground. And it's kind of funny, for some reason, most of these guys can fly? I don't understand. Almost all three. The only one of the team that cannot fly is Vol Panther, and he comically climbs things. He is clearly on a rope or pulley system of some kind, climbing up trees or rock walls in a very unnatural way, but it looks goofy. But for some reason, Vol Eagle can fly, do this flying air attack, which kind of makes sense because he's the Eagle and he's the pilot, out of the Air Force, but then Vol Shark has a flying shark attack, and that one doesn't make any sense to me. But then he also does fantastic moves like the shark jaw attack where it just mashes in a person's face. These moves just, they kill me, they slay me every single time. I love it. Now, the reoccurring monsters every episode have the name of Monger at the end of them. So you have, for example, these first 7 episodes, Grub Monger, Mahi Mahi Monger, Nauman Monger, Nauman being the name of kind of a mammoth-type animal named after an old scientist, Bird Monger, Shaman Monger, Machine Monger, and Baseball Monger. So, yep, we got yet another Sentai series where you've got a baseball-themed monster. That's never gonna change, although this time his head wasn't the baseball, so that's different. You've got them going on all kinds of different missions trying to screw up humanity or screw up Sun Vulcan. They try to infiltrate different scientific places to get bacteria, for example, to then put in a rocket and then launch into the sky and rain down on different countries. So again, it shows them being a worldwide threat. You have, for example, in episode 6, Machine Monger trying to replace people's different electronic items in their homes, not just toys, but also vacuum cleaners and refrigerators, so that they will then kind of turn on their masters and start attacking them. At one point inside of Snack Safari, suddenly a vacuum cleaner comes up out of nowhere and just turns its head and starts firing missiles and then blowing out all of this dirty gunk inside the vacuum cleaner and strangling people. And it kind of reminds me of the scene out of Airplane 2 where they say, "Danger, vacuum!" and this vacuum comes out of this little closet and starts attacking the main character until he pushes it back in the closet and stuffs it away. It's comical to me in that regard. Or in the case of Baseball Monger here in episode 7, they decide, well, people really want to be superstars, so let's try to make them really hungry to be superstars. So let's take this kid who's the best on his baseball team and make him want to be even better. So we'll turn him basically into a beast-like monster himself who just goes crazy and starts attacking things with his baseball bat as if he's like a berserker werewolf or something. But he's saved by love, so love saves the day. Now, what's really super interesting to me so far about this series is that this series directly references the series before it, Denshi Sentai Denjimon, what with the resurrection of Queen Hedra. I guess Hydra had been, I don't know, frozen or something? Like, you might remember in my last video, I talked about Hydra escaping and saying, "Oh, you haven't defeated me yet," and she took off somewhere only to come back later, so the Denjimon technically didn't win, and now here she is, and Hell Saturn has now resurrected her and given her a new robotic heart. I don't know what might have happened to her that made her conk out and made them have to resurrect her, or why they decided she was important enough to be worth saving, but they did, and she's pissed that they saved her. Like, she's pissed that she's under somebody else's control, she's pissed that she can't really go anywhere because she's got this robotic heart now, but she's also pissed at humanity for having defeated the Vader clan in the last season. And then when they start defeating monsters, she starts getting really mad. First the Denjimon, and now Sun Vulcan! So she's, like, directly referencing things that have happened before, which is starting to really kind of prove this, this continuity between Sentai series, which I honestly find absolutely fascinating. She looks a little bit different now. I'm not sure which one of her two costumes looks more ridiculous. The one big headdress or the one big round headdress. They're both kind of ludicrous, but I can't help it. I think she was an amazing actress. I absolutely love her. And then we're gonna see her again as another lead villain, as Bandora later on once we finally ultimately get to Jew Ranger. So I'm excited to get up that far, but we've got a long way to go before we get there. Overall, man, I am really enjoying this so far. Like I said at the beginning of the video too, the editing is just so well paced. Everything is really, really fast, and then like I have my attention on the screen pretty much all the time, you know? I'm not distracted by anything. I don't feel like anything is paced too slowly. The action is great. The music is great. The suits are really clean and really fantastic, and their different abilities are really unique. I love their finisher move of Vulcan Ball, which reminds me of the Go Ranger finisher move. So the three guys kind of knock a ball around volleyball style and hit it into the monster, and then the monster explodes. I think it's great. I think so far this series is absolutely wonderful, and I'm really excited to be marathoning through the next 7 episodes. So thank you as always for watching. Thank you as always to the Patreon contributors over at patreon.com/MarsGirl for making this and so many other episodes happen. If you're at all interested in, for example, a request review, check out patreon.com/MarsGirl. I would like to help you out. Also, I just launched a new tier so that I can help promote things for you. If you have a video series or a podcast series, anything like that, I will record promotional material for you to show or feature on your show, and I would love to get that done for you. Let's work together. Also, check out marsgirl.tumblr.com, where I'm doing write-ups on each of these episodes that I'm talking about every time I watch an episode. So thank you, as always. I can't wait to see you guys next time.